Welcome back from the break. You're still watching NTV Sport Nights. Remember, when you're tweeting, use the hashtag NTV Sport Nights. Daniel Kayongo is joining me right now from Plascon to talk about the Twaake campaign. So why should fans respond to this campaign?
And you know, Mebo, I don't like how you pronounce the word is Twaake. The Twaake campaign. You said Twaake. And I'm thinking Twaake because it's a Uganda word.
Lighting.
Yes. Yeah, Twaake. Let's light.
Let's light.
Yeah.
It's double A.
Yeah,
let's fire up.
Twaake,
Okay.
not Twaake. It sounds.
Twaake could be
Feels like
a
Twaake.
dance troupe.
Twaake. No, it's Twaake.
Twaake.
Campaign.
Yeah. Thank
Double
you.
A.
Okay.
Sorry for that.
No,
Yes,
it's okay.
over to you.
Thank you so much for having us here and having me. It's quite exciting. So as a business, we've been with sports for a few years now, and you know, from football, we got into rugby, we got into cricket, we got into netball. And our objective is to try and uplift sports in the country. But we know that you cannot do that on your own. And there are certain things that you can't expect to achieve if you're just running as an individual or as one entity, as one company. So we sat together with the team and we looked at one of the things that we believe ensures to a great extent the success of all the teams that we're working with and teams across the world, and it's that 11th man, the 12th man in the stadium when the football players are playing. It is that fan that comes out and says, you know what, my team is coming out, my team is going to play, I need to be there. So as Plascon, we thought that it's important to wake up Ugandans and remind them of the power, not as an individual fan, but as a collective force. The other day we were talking with my brother here, and we're talking about the performance of the Uganda Cranes. I'm confident that if we had played the game against Tanzania in Nambole, or in Wankulukuku, or any other stadium here in Uganda, and filled that stadium to capacity with Ugandan fans, I believe the result would have been very, very different.
Could have been.
That's what I'm thinking, because I've been to Nambole before, years ago, and we used to fill out the stadium.
Yes.
But the results were not much to write about.
We actually did have quite a record at Nambole of being unbeaten for quite a while.
If you go back, Uganda has lost what? 3 games at Nambole in the last 20 years? At AFCON qualifiers, one against Togo, the other against Rwanda, the chaotic one back in 2003, and then the other against South Africa.
Yes.
Yeah, that emphasizes the home record.
So it was a fortress.
It is a fortress.
Absolutely.
It was. You speak of it like it's dead. It's not dead.
Is it coming? Have you seen the recent pictures?
Yeah, fitting what you look at, because the reason why Nambole was banned has very little to do with the playing surface, and that is easy to fit. Most of us out there assume that they are going to plant grass and then starts growing. Grass across the world actually is not planted on the venue. It's actually imported to the venue and just placed. Yeah, it does not grow at the venue. There are companies that do that. Yes, the natural grass is planted somewhere else and then dug out, or you could call it what I've seen.
Rolled out.
Yeah, it's transplanted and then flown on a plane and then placed like a carpet.
Wow.
So the technology has changed. They're not going to plant the grass. So actually for me, the grass does not worry me. But all the other things that Nambole was supposed to do are the ones that worry me. The dressing rooms, the lighting, the media tribune. And I'm very unlucky to have been to some very good stadiums. Yeah, so
like
sometimes you want to make that call.
You said Japan, we just admire.
Yeah, then you cannot make the comparison.
Aspire.
With that exactly up. But now, you've mentioned with all the teams that, Daniel, that you're part of, there is Vipers, there is Aroa Hill, there is the She Cranes.
Yes.
How are these teams then have to get involved? When I move around the city these days, I see a lot of billboards with sports persons, and I'm very excited with Plascon. I see my young boy Juma Miyagi just came out of under-19 cricket, very prominent on the billboard. I see Milton Karisa. I can imagine how many people are proud of him coming out of Ginger on a big billboard, Plascon. Is this just the involvement of these individuals you have on the billboards, or is it the institutions that these clubs are and these teams that is supposed to push the Twaake campaign? I want to make
Twaake campaign. So from our part, it's actually both. You mentioned Juma Miyagi. This is a boy whose story is quite phenomenal.
Yeah.
But the reality is, many people may not actually know how far he has come in terms of development as a player, in terms of his excellence on the pitch and so on and so forth. So from our side, we thought it's important to give people like that an opportunity to stand up and be seen, and let people be able to recognize and say, I've seen that man on TV, I've seen that guy on the billboard, and I need to know who he is and what he does for our country, or what she does for our country. But also from our side, the teams that they represent, or the institutions that they represent, institutions that we're proud of and we feel can do a lot better if we continue to support them, and that's a commitment that we are going to carry on. I'll start with Arua Hills. Their long-term vision is massive for northern Uganda. We're talking about Nambole and how it's struggling. And that team is, together with their management, are putting up a massive stadium in Arua. And those are, those are developments that we as Plascon are very excited to see and are excited to support. We've seen the cricket cranes do a lot better through, a more organized management structure, a more focused team, a very good coach that's, a high-performance coach. And we're seeing them take on very, very big games and big teams and, holding their weight. And it's quite good. We've seen the she cranes moving around. Now, their performance and their excitement, their exciting performance on the international scene is not by magic. It's not an accident. Yes, it's not an accident, and it's something that we believe has been developed from the grassroots, and that's why we as Plascon are keen to continue to support them. They are looking at running through the whole country to do, to develop the local league and improve the teams that are playing in the league, improve netball from primary school all the way to professional levels. And that's something that, as Plascon, we're keen to support. But we can't do it alone. We can't be beating these drums just as Plascon. So we're calling on Ugandans and saying to them, join us, because as an individual, you can create a spark, but together, so will Twaake.
Yeah, exactly. Twaake, which is big time, especially for sponsors when it comes to numbers. And looking at the teams you are partnered with, sure, they have the numbers. When I see Vudusaza there, I'm like, yeah, I can see your target. And as far as numbers are concerned, my biggest question is, have you also involved other teams that may not have the numbers, but if lifted by Plascon, can come out and maybe we come to recognize them? Yes,
we are. You probably know that we are supporting the Uganda Cup in partnership with Stanbic Bank Uganda. And that's a tournament that's not just for the top teams in the big league, or the Super League. It's 128 teams. And from giving them exposure to play against the bigger teams, getting their players to be recognized, we've seen some guys come through that and develop. And so it's a commitment from us as sponsors that we won't just look at the big teams, so Vipers, Arua Hill, or the Cricket Cranes, and so on and so forth. We want to go down to the grassroots and also see whatever we can do to develop sports down there.
Okay. So just quickly, so what is your biggest objective, really?
When I was talking to the cricket guys, I told them, you know what, we love cricket, we love the sport, and some of us maybe have played 10 minutes in our lives of cricket. But
even in our sleep.
Yeah. But at the back of our minds, the biggest objective is to bring fans into the stadiums, to get fans involved with these teams, to get fans to not just sit behind the TV and you're watching and saying, okay, they did well and good. No, we want fans to be fully involved in sports. We know that if those fans, for instance, are waking up and saying, you know what, I'm going to go out and buy a Netball Cranes fans jersey, that money goes directly back to the team. And while Andrew was talking about the whole sagas with
National Council of Sports and Parliament,
as a fan, I have an opportunity to say I'm going to support my team and contribute. Whenever there's a game, I'll come and pay the gate collections, and I'll pay for a ticket. Whenever there's a new jersey that has come out, I'll buy it, and through that you'll be able to directly support your team. And as Plascon was saying, that whenever you come for these games, we're going to have some exciting games for you, some exciting activities, and you can also stand a chance to win, things like that. So we are encouraging people to come onto the stadium, come into the stadiums, come and support your teams, and together, Twaake.
Okay. Finally, what would your last words be to us?
First of all, to say thank you. It's almost a thankless job. People don't recognize how much you guys do to promote sports, talking about the players, talking about the tournaments, the leagues, and who's doing well and who's not doing well, and being able to uplift sports in Uganda. So I want to thank NTV, I want to thank you guys. It's a commendable job. I want to thank our fans out there that are supporting all the teams that we support, and to promise them that there's a lot of exciting things happening. Look out for the games coming up, and come and support the teams, and together, Twaake.
Okay. Together, Twaake. Very simple. But I'm still saying it wrong.
No, you're okay.
No, you got it right
Whatever,
this
man. We'll be taking a short break, but there's still more right after. See you later.